us on a nation-to-nation basis with recognition of the title. That's all we've ever said. That's all we have ever tried to propose, to continue in our relationship with Canada, is to continue a respectful relationship on the basis of international law. But international law, the rule of law, has proven to be nothing less than a cruel hoax. And so what do we got? What do we have?
How do you think Ottawa fit? What do they expect? Do they think that maybe so many people go on to that much animosity don't have to change that? It's their own good, isn't it?
Well, if I kept coming to your house and stealing something out of your house every day, thinking that you're not noticing it, and now all of a sudden I realize that you're starting to realize that there's a pattern of somebody stealing, and I'm happen to be the one who's coming by your back door all the time, you're going to say, hey, guy's a thief. So wouldn't you be afraid, right, of being exposed for being a thief? Most politicians are.
Good point. Well, do you think we think that people in general are making enough progress and, are happy enough with their role in Canadian society that better eventually?
Well, the only progress we can make is how much we exercise. How much do we re-empower ourselves to make progress? That's the name of the game. When we talk about trying to teach and educate our youth, we're talking about trying to empower them to empower themselves to get what is rightfully theirs. We're no longer going to be as subjects of the crown. We're not going to be in a submissive posture to the crown or to the political system. We're going to exercise and teach our youth to exercise the re-empowerment of their right, whatever their rights are, by international and constitutional law. They have to be taught to exercise those rights. And they have to they have to keep their eye on the prize and go for it. And we're there as elders showing them what the eye of the prize is. That's our duty, to teach the next wave.
And it's being done, right?
It's being done. And we have some very beautiful Native youth just organizing themselves in a very good way. We're trying to take them out of these streets, out of these urban reservations, and we're trying to teach them to get back to the culture, get back to the way, get back to a spiritual, cultural way of life, get back to the land, and fight for the issues for the people. For a way of life, fight for the land, fight for the resource. Pave a path for your children. You're paving a path for your children. I have the right to pave a path for my children. My whole sense of commitment comes only right down to the fact I have children, babies, as young as 5 years old right now, that I have to pave a path for. And every human being who's a dedicated parent, father, that loves our children, will do the same. There's no difference between what I'm trying to do and what you're trying to do. Except maybe a little different shades of color.
Well, 164 at the airport.
Well, there you go. There you go, brother.
Whatever that means, I can't prove it.
You ever guys talk to lawyers if you guys have a case there?
Yeah, you have good lawyers out there.
Oh, I'm my own lawyer.
Are you a lawyer?
I'm a self-made lawyer, yeah. I taught myself. I educated myself on the law.
We seem so like educated. Do you have to be?
I'm a sixth grade dropout. I taught myself in the 16 years I did in jail. I taught myself how to think, how to read, how to write. I taught myself. I studied law inside out. I can bust the best at it. And I've been told I should go out and make millions of dollars doing that. I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to gather wealth in terms of respect. I'm not looking for $1 million. I'm looking for enough to just give from one day to the next and take care of my family.
You mind wearing that neck for a while? We'd like to follow you around.
Oh, you mean over here? Sure, yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, Jim, talking to some of your friends and
stuff. Hey, brother.
Good,
how are you? Terry Lusty. Hey, man, how you doing?
Remember I came out to you?
Sure do. How you been, man?
You and White Hawk?
Yeah, good. Yeah. So are you working at Windspeaker now?
Still with him.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to come. I've got to do double duty tonight, so I'm going to be coming back late, but I got a guy pinch hitting for me. He's going to take the part that I'm going to miss.
Right,
so that way I don't miss it all.
Right.
But then I'll be back. And I was talking with Wes yesterday, so let's go back to
Yeah, okay. Right. Sounds good. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Issued Castleton Lake, the right to shoot to kill, and he stands before you today to speak about it and other very important and interesting aspects of his life, the subject book here that you see in front, Swimming in the Sky, from Attica to Gustavson Lake. Very important issues that I myself have spent years of researching, investigating as an international lawyer, and an area that has taken great courage and perseverance, and an incredible ability and demonstration of skill to cut through a lot of the deception and untruths that have surrounded various aspects of situations and experiences that Swimming in the Sky has gone through and been able to bring to you in the context of his book. He also shares with you, and I understand will be able to discuss with you to some extent tonight, some very personal aspects of his journey which continues, which I hope and encourage is only just begun in some ways, but yet it has been so incredibly purposeful. So with that, I, Dean, ask you to welcome a very distinguished and important person that has touched my life and the lives of many, and I hope tonight will as well touch yours. Thank you.
Greetings. First of all, I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Give a special thanks to my friend Wes here, Preferred Network, and his wife, Patrick, for setting this evening up. There were many of the people in the area here who have helped leaflet, like Richard and Norman and others that have passed on the information about this talk this evening. So thank you. I also wish to thank the original people from the territories here for allowing me to speak this evening. And a very special thanks to my longtime friend now, Janice Whitlow, for introducing me this evening. And she has become a very important person in my life and my family and her family. So we've become really good friends and allies in this struggle, this work that is necessary to do for the next generations. Predominantly the work surrounding the whole question of our sovereignty and our sense of self-determination as a people. Janice is one of the most brilliant lawyers that I have met, and I have to note before everyone here this evening that she played a very strong role in getting the truth out relative to what happened at Gustavson Lake in 1995 when we were living in a climate that by the mainstream media, which was intent on telling consorted smear disinformation. Now, I usually, so thanks Janice, and Stefan and her husband Mark. And so with that, I usually start up my talk by going from the beginning of my life and what's been written in the autobiography here to the end of my life. But given the fact that there is such a pressing need to deal with situations that have evolved as subsequent to information that has come out recently surrounding the government's actions and activities of Gustavson Lake, I'm going to start the first part of this program by taking you on a journey as to how I got up here and what happened. And so I'm going to start about what happened at Gustavson Lake, and then the second half of the program I'm going to tell you about my past and involved in one of the biggest prison uprisings in the world in 1971 at a place called Attica in upstate New York. And then I'm going to also tell you at some point, I'm going to try to critique to you something that happened to me when I was in prison that I saw, which each and every human being has the ability to see. And I call this the awakening of the light within. And I'm going to be relatively graphic about what that is, but it is so necessary Because this experience that I saw while I was in prison is an experience that I write about. As a matter of fact, I made a spiritual commitment to the great mind, the great spirit, that I would give this secret back to all of the great spirit's children. Males and females have, each and every one of us have the ability to see this divine light within. Well, what does that mean? And I say that the greatest deception that ever happened throughout time has been how the church and the state in this world has systematically taken away from the secret of knowing one's true self. And so I'm going to tell you some of the circumstances that led for me to seeing something that is, for me, is the real critical purpose of me on this book tour, of talking with you, of fulfilling my commitment to the youth, the next generation, to show them something that I believe we, as the previous generations, have been lied to about. And it is time now, I believe, according to the prophecies of our people, to put these sacred truths out. And these truths are not only for our native youth, and paving a path for them in generations to come, but for our non-native brothers and sisters of all walks of life have the ability to see the same universal truth. And so this is really what is necessary for me as I begin to start with other people and many friends. I just got back from Saskatoon and Regina and have basically am beginning to start this book tour, but to be able to teach the real commitment that I have is to teach this thing about the truth, which I believe answers the whole question of personal sovereignty. While I, as an activist, have been involved with human rights, prisoners' rights, and indigenous rights, while we're seeking for a confirmation and recognition of our rights as people in the struggle for self-determination and sovereignty. And so it's going to be, I'm trying to put it in the framework of saying that on the one hand, while I tell you what it's been like to fight in the resistance movement, to be able to assert our rights as a people, I also say that it's necessary for all human beings to fight for the realization of their total personal self, realization of self, and what it means to come into knowledge of true self, so that we can begin to dispel all of the lies that have been taught to us that only serve a class of people who are in control, who are reaping millions and trillions of dollars off of our ignorance, the ignorance that has been installed to us. And so we've been blinded to the kind of theft and the ripoff, and our inheritance has been taken from us. And so what's in this book is raw, it is very real, and it's in a language that any human being can understand. What's in the book, when I talk about the awakening of this divine light within, and I say the name of the book is called The Autobiography of Sacagawea, which means splitting the sky. And then the subtitle is From Attica to Gustafson Lake, and then a subtitle below that is Unmasking the Secrets of the Psychosexual Energy and the Struggle for Original People's Title. Then I write that with my wife and co-author. She keeps the door, it's her Cree Indian name. She's from Churchill, Manitoba. And so, I want to start and say that from the very beginning, in reversing my order, I'm going to start off with what happened at Gustafson Lake and how I came to Canada. I was born in Buffalo, New York, and pretty much raised in different orphanages, foster homes, as well as boarding schools, which were the original concept that Canada adopted on the question of residential schools. But I'll get back to all of that history and say that I came to Canada in 1993 at the invite of some people here. Actually, the first place that I came to in Canada for this conference was in Edmonton. And I thought it was I believe it was at one of the Friendship Centers, but this is not the building now.